Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Jana Duggar shares tiny house, goes rude with wardrobe. Jana Duggar returned to social media in full force. After taking a 3-year hiatus, the Counting On star returned, showing fans what she's been up to. It's been a lot, including moving into her own tiny home. At one point, Jana revealed her little home was the city's temporary office space. They got it at auction, and now she has transformed it into her private space. She mentioned being there for a few years, which would align with the time she ghosted social media. There have been many assumptions about Jana living at the big house after all of her younger sisters moved out to help raise the second set of sisters. But it seems that now that they are all teenagers, she was able to move on with her life. With speculation of an engagement and confirmation that she lives alone, Jana seems to be moving into the next stage of her life. Jana Duggar gives tiny house tour. Jana Duggar and her sister, Jessa Duggar, filmed a tour of the tiny home Jana owns. She has created a very homey atmosphere and did a good job maximizing her space. Her love for coffee was apparent when she showed off her 2 machines and the extras she had to go along with it all. The eldest Duggar daughter shared that she often hosts movie nights with her siblings at her home, with a projector screen hanging over her window. However, one part of the tour was shocking, given the Duggar rules Jana grew up being expected to follow. Jana Duggar goes rogue on wardrobe choices. Jinger Duggar walks so her siblings could run, at least in the case of fashion choices. When the tour stopped at her bedroom, viewers saw the clothing Jana Duggar owns. It was all on display because no closets were built into the tiny home. She had a huge selection of jeans in her pants row, which would have been impossible even 5 years ago. The Duggar daughters had stringent rules regarding their wardrobes, and it seems that have gone by the wayside, for the older girls anyway. Jana's outfit in the video was not something she would have been allowed to wear growing up, but now that she's on her own, she gets to make her own dress code rules. The Counting On star wore a sleeveless fitted tank top and little black shorts. They hit well above the knee, and when she bent down, she held them to keep herself covered. Jana seems to have moved into a more independent life, even though she still spends plenty of time at the Duggar family farm. Jana Duggar, the eldest daughter of the famous Duggar family, has always been a bit of an enigma. While her younger sisters married early and started families of their own, Jana remained in the family home, helping her parents raise her siblings. But now it seems Jana is stepping out of her comfort zone and embracing a new chapter in her life. A chapter that comes with bold changes, a tiny house, and a wardrobe makeover that has left fans stunned. The tiny house reveal. After years of living under the same roof as her parents and numerous siblings, Jana has finally moved out, but not into the kind of home people might expect. Instead, she's embraced the tiny house movement, choosing a minimalist lifestyle in a space that's small but perfectly tailored to her needs. Jana's decision to move into a tiny house is a significant departure from the Duggar way of life. The Duggars are known for their sprawling homes, often designed to accommodate their large families and frequent visitors. For someone like Jana, who grew up in a household where personal space was a rare luxury, opting for a tiny house is a bold, independent move. In a recent social media post, Jana shared a glimpse of her new home, a charming 400-square-foot space with a cozy loft, rustic wood paneling, and a kitchen that's both functional and stylish. The house is perched on a plot of land that offers plenty of greenery, giving Jana the space to garden, something she's passionate about. In her post, Jana expressed her excitement about the new chapter in her life, writing, "I've always loved the idea of living simply, and this tiny house is the perfect way for me to embrace that. It's not about the size of the home, but the peace and joy it brings." The move has sparked a wave of reactions from fans. Some see it as a sign of Jana's growing independence, while others speculate that it's her way of subtly distancing herself from her family's strict lifestyle. In any case, it's clear that Jana is forging her own path, one that doesn't necessarily align with the Duggar family's traditional values. Going rogue with her wardrobe. If the tiny house was a shock, Jana's wardrobe transformation has been even more surprising. For years, Jana adhered to the Duggar family's modest dress code, long skirts, high necklines, and clothing that covered much of her body. But recently, she's been spotted in outfits that push the boundaries of what's considered Duggar appropriate. At a recent event with friends, Jana was photographed in a chic, knee-length dress paired with a cropped jacket and ankle boots. The outfit was stylish, modern, and most notably, not what fans are used to seeing her wear. Gone were the long, flowing skirts and conservative tops. Instead, Jana's new look exuded confidence and independence. In another photo shared on her Instagram, Jana is seen in a pair of high-waisted jeans and a floral blouse, a far cry from the dresses and skirts that dominated her wardrobe in the past. Her hair, typically worn long and loose, was styled in soft waves, adding to the overall shift in her appearance. Fans quickly took notice of Jana's fashion evolution, with many praising her for embracing her individuality. "You look amazing, Jana. So happy to see you expressing yourself," one follower commented. Another wrote, "It's so refreshing to see you stepping out of the box and wearing what makes you feel good." However, not everyone was thrilled with Jana's wardrobe choices. Some critics questioned whether her new style was appropriate, considering the strict religious upbringing she had. One comment read, "This is not the Jana we know. What happened to the modesty and values you were raised with?" Despite the mixed reactions, Jana has remained unfazed. In a recent interview, she addressed the wardrobe shift, explaining that she's simply growing into her own sense of style. "I'm still the same person," she said. "I just feel like I've reached a point where I want to express myself in different ways, and that includes how I dress." Jana's new fashion choices reflect a subtle but significant departure from the traditional expectations placed upon her by her family and community. It's clear that she's no longer content to fit neatly into the mold that's been shaped for her. Instead, she's embracing a version of herself that's true to her evolving identity. A journey toward independence. Jana's tiny house and wardrobe transformation are just the latest signs that she's carving out her own path. For years, she's been viewed as the family's caretaker, the Cinderella Duggar who stayed behind to help her parents while her siblings went off to start their own lives. But now, at 34, it's clear that Jana is ready to write her own story. In recent months, Jana has taken up new hobbies, traveled more frequently, and developed friendships outside of her family's tight-knit circle. She's been spotted at events with friends, exploring new cities, and even hinting at possible business ventures in the works. Though she remains close to her family, it's evident that she's no longer tethered to the same expectations that once defined her. The decision to move into a tiny house is symbolic of this newfound independence. It's a space that's entirely her own, a place where she can cultivate her passions and live life on her terms. And while her wardrobe choices may seem like a small change, they represent a broader shift in how Jana views herself and her role in the world. For years, fans have speculated about Jana's future. Would she follow in her sister's footsteps and get married, or would she continue to live under her parents' roof? Now it seems the answer is neither. Instead, Jana is forging her own path, one that allows her to embrace simplicity, self-expression, and most importantly, independence. A new beginning for Jana Duggar. Jana Duggar's journey is one of quiet transformation. She's not making grand declarations or dramatic changes overnight, but rather, she's taking small, meaningful steps toward a life that feels authentic to her.